Let's talk about how Florida turned into a dystopian nightmare. Spoiler alert, it's the politicians. I'm going to start with Jeb Bush because that's one of my earliest political memories. I mean, I remember when I was a kid seeing Reagan, the demon that destroyed America. One of my first memories is in 2000, Jeb Bush stealing the election for his brother George. George, who went on to spend trillions of dollars bombing a country that didn't attack us. Then his VP, Oswald Cobblepot, they hired his company to rebuild all the shit they just blew up. I know this video is supposed to be about Florida, but I want to go on a little bit of a tangent and say, fuck the entire Cheney family. If Kamala Harris hadn't bear hugged Liz Cheney and gone coast to coast trying to appeal to a non-existent Liz Cheney base, then she would have won in a landslide. All she had to do was keep talking about going after price gougers and building housing, and she would have won that election. Instead, she put a muzzle on Tim Walz so he'd stop calling Republicans weird and saying J.D. Vance fucked a couch. We have a habit of picking terrible, terrible governors in this state. I'm going to say we and us and ours. I didn't vote for any of these assholes. When I say we, I'm talking about collectively Florida. Reptilian and Harry Potter villain Rick Scott was responsible for the largest Medicare fraud in history. So we elected him governor twice, and then we made him a senator. I swear, I don't know what this state is thinking, but I will tell you this, you can't find anybody that'll admit to voting for Rick Scott. They're ashamed of it. And they should be ashamed because he's a fucking disaster. I know Matt Gaetz isn't a congressman anymore, but he's uniquely horrible, so I'm going to talk about him anyway. He had sex with a high school junior. I'm not talking about when he was in high school. He was a full-grown congressman when he did that. Another terrible thing about Florida, if you're a fan of Florida, I apologize, but this is going to get worse. We have Moms for Liberty down here banning books they've never read at schools their kids don't go to. They have lost their minds. They banned a book, a picture book, a children's picture book, because there was a troll butt in it, a naked troll butt, and they called that pornography because these people are crazy. One of these days, Moms for Liberty is going to have to acknowledge the fact that people exist who aren't as white as them, and some boys like boys and some girls like girls. And kids finding that out isn't traumatic. That's just life. Both Moms for Liberty and Governor Ron DeSantis will tell you they're not banning books. They're lying. They just don't understand that words have definitions that are easily accessible to anyone with an internet connection. They think because the book is just being banned in schools and not banned outright for everyone, that that's not a book ban. That is a book ban. Look it up. I told you words have definitions, and you need to learn how to look them up. This state has lost its way so much. They're selling Alligator Alcatraz merch down here. We have branded concentration camp merch being sold. So if you want to commemorate a concentration camp, come to Florida and get yourself some Alligator Alcatraz merch. T-shirts and trucker caps now available. It costs $90,000 per person per year to keep immigrants locked up in that prison in the swamp. Alligator Auschwitz. They don't need it to have gas chambers for it to be a concentration camp. Call it what it is. So they're spending almost 6 figures per year per person to violate immigrants' human rights instead of giving that to people on Social Security or disability or giving it in the form of Medicare. People on Social Security and disability, some of them make less than $1,000 a month, and they're going to drop billions and billions of dollars to unnecessarily keep people imprisoned. Now, a lot of those people in that prison were workers. So what's Florida's solution to that? They want to get rid of child labor laws. They want to have children do those jobs. And they want to be able to pay them less than minimum wage to do it. And if they can't find enough, what are they going to do? They're considering using those immigrants who they locked up to go back into the fields and work for free. That's slavery, dude. The internet's infected with right-wing propagandists and professional gaslighters. People like Blair White saying that there is no Don't Say Gay bill in Florida, and Donald Trump never mocked a disabled reporter. I don't know how people can just look into a camera and lie to their audience like that. There are anti-LGBTQ laws in Florida. I don't care what they say. I don't care what Blair White says. I live here. I know. I've seen the results of it. My niece and her wife moved out of the state because their kid mentioned having two moms in elementary school, and she got in trouble with the teacher. But Blair White wants you to think there is no Don't Say Gay bill. I don't know. Blair White is part of the LGBTQ community, and she has made her career shitting on them. She's not the only one. You have the Hodge twins doing it, Candace Owens, Officer Tatum, all these people, their whole career is shitting on people that are part of their own community. They're selling out their own community to the people who hate that community. They're validating it. They say, you know what? I'm part of that community, and you're right. We fucking suck. I'm just sick of being lied to about stuff that I'm seeing with my own eyes that's happened right in front of me. And to see somebody on the internet tell me it's not happening when I've witnessed firsthand that action go into place, those laws hurt people, don't tell me that they don't exist. Disney made a statement after the Don't Say Gay bill, and Ron DeSantis was so pissed about them speaking out against them, he threatened to build a prison in their backyard. And I'm sure that would have been a for-profit prison, and he would have gotten a kickback too. That's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to corruption in Florida. I could dig way deeper. I could talk all night about how this state has turned backwards. We get things on the ballot, we sign the petitions, get them on the ballot, vote for them, they pass, and our government, our own reps, fight against the things we voted for. If people were convicted of a felony, they lost their right to vote. We voted to give them that right back after they served their time. And even though it passed by the majority of Floridians, they decided, oh no, you have to pay your fines first, and then you have to do this, and then so all these hoops that weren't intended, weren't mentioned in the bill, just because they don't like the idea of people, they want as little people to vote as possible. That's the Republican strategy. That's been the Republican strategy for decades. They put these laws in place to make it as difficult as possible for you to use your right to vote, your constitutional right to vote. They do everything they can to block it because they know the more people vote, the less chance there is for a Republican to win. If Republicans were honest and told their voters what they really want to do, a Republican would never win another election for the rest of time. Even when Florida gets something right, they get it wrong. They find a way to screw us. Our medical marijuana laws here are bullshit. You can't grow your own. They put a limit on how many people, how many dispensaries there can be, how many people can grow it. They want to do everything they can to keep the prices high. Most people, to be honest with you, most people down here who smoke marijuana, they don't get it at dispensaries. It's too fucking expensive. It's cost prohibitive for people that are sick, that are on limited incomes, to go pay these dispensary prices. But the people who fought to get that law passed that we thought they were on our side, turns out they own some of those dispensaries. And they wanted there to be a limit on the dispensaries so they can make more money. Because it was never about passing marijuana to help people who were sick. It was about helping rich people get richer. Because that's what fucking everything is about, is the rich getting richer and you and me having fucking nothing. That's the plan. That's the end game. We voted to restore women's right to choose too, but that didn't pass. It got the majority of the vote, but it's not the law because it didn't get 60%. So even when we pass something, they say, oh, well, we know you're in the majority. We know that's what most of the state want, but it's not enough of a majority. You have to have more of a majority to get the laws that you want in place, which makes no sense. If the majority of the state wants something, that should be the law. Not this much of a majority needs to do it. What is with this minority rules bullshit where less people that are on the wrong side of history get to make all the decisions? In case you can't tell, I'm ready to get out of here. I'm sick of living in Florida. I'm sick of MAGA country. So if you'd like to contribute to my Get the Fuck Out of Florida fund, check out my book, Warp Asylum. It's got mentally ill superhumans and the Antichrist. It's a study in bipolar disorder. If you're still here, I appreciate you making it to the end. I'm going to be honest with you. This is the second time I shot this video. I shot it a couple nights ago, and the image quality was terrible. So just having done this and shot it the second time, I know in my mind that first one was a better take. I know it was a better take. When I watch this back is when I'll decide if I'm going to post this or not. I might have to shoot it a third time. I might have to shoot it again tomorrow night. I don't know. I seriously doubt anybody's still watching right now, but if you are, there's links to my book below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Hit the bell notification, because hopefully I'll get better than this, so you might want to stick around and watch.